socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I knew I was looking good. I had my Kenneth Cole shoes on, my Gianni Versace blue leather suit. My nails were done, my hair was fierce. I was riding in a Cooper's limousine. Don't you want to ride? I was at home feeling sleazy, so I went down to the speakeasy. As soon as my feet hit the door, I had all attention from the dance floor. Don't you know the men are paused when I walk into the room? The men are paused. The men are paused from the bride's velvet grooves. The men are paused and they all sung the same old tune.
Welcome in. Happy Monday. I hope your weekend was relaxing, that you grab a beverage and some snacks, and you are comfortable because you're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580, and we're about to hit off these trending topics and headlines. Shout out to Andy for starting the night off. A little 80s funk. Shout out to Climax. The men all pause. Come on now. And of course, you know he's always on theme, right? So this relates to one of the topics that we're getting into tonight. We are talking Jayne Kennedy. Now, if you don't know, the former Miss Ohio, I believe it was 1972, 1973, the first black woman to be on CBS television as an NFL broadcaster, right? An actress, producer. Oh, and beautiful, hands down. She was the epitome of grace and class. She was married to a man named Leon Isaac Kennedy. They starred in a movie together in the 80s, Body and Soul. And then they divorced. But late 80s, early 90s, the first celebrity sex tape was born. And we're going to get into what happened, what allegedly happened, and how that impacted Jayne. So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about the records that took place with the finally long-delayed, long-anticipated release of Cardi B's sophomore album, Am I the Drama? Of course she is. And she seems to be stacking up. Listen, we're going to get into a little bit of that, some of the drama that has happened in relation to that, of course, and more. And we're also talking, listen, I got to have a real talk with the guys, right? Just the guys. Why do you repeatedly set yourselves up? Why? Why? One of the topics tonight is just, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why you go against your own self-interest constantly. All ages, all races. We'll get into the details of what I'm alluding to in a little bit. But you know, before I get into the night's topics, I, of course, have to get into some trending topics that are buzzing around, little conversation starters. First up, Shout out to Asia Wilson. She has made history. Slow down, girl. The Las Vegas Aces forward was named WNBA MVP for the 4th time in the last 5 years. Boyfriend Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat, he surprised her, presenting her the award. And, you know, she is the first one. Is Asia the GOAT? I'm just asking. I don't know yet. I'm just throwing things out there because we always do, Andy.
First off, shout out to Asia Wilson. But I think Nafisa Collier should have got the MVP. That's just me, in my opinion. As far as GOAT status, I don't know, man. You got Cynthia Cooper out here in these streets. You got Lisa Leslie out here in these streets. You got Candace Parker out here in these streets.
I want to note that those first 3 all got an L.A. connection.
You feel me?
Shout out to that.
You got Diana Taurasi. Isn't she SoCal, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I believe so.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Or is she Bay? I think
Cali,
she's Cali,
for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's kind of tough. It's kind of tough.
So, you know, shout out to her. Also, we want to give our flowers to Sylvia Rhone. If you don't know who she is the legendary executive in the music industry, first Black woman to run and head a major label as CEO. She has been with Epic Records for the last, I believe, close to a decade, and she has announced that she is stepping down at the end of the month. She's guided careers from Missy to Travis Scott. In 2019, she became the first Black woman of Epic CEO across the music industry. Like, it had never been done before. She is a trailblazer. She has been in the music industry, rose from the ranks as a secretary, receptionist. So we'll have to wait and see what is next, but her exit signals a generational turnover. The era of the OG Black label bosses is thinning out, and, you know, we'll tap in to see what's next, but she's behind a legacy of women like Suzanne DePass and more, but she is one of one, so giving our flowers to her. And lastly, for you Portia Williams fans, she is guest starring tonight on NBC and Peacock's Brilliant Minds. You know, not a Tubi movie. She's on a major network, so shout out to that. When we come forward, we're going to get into Miss Jayne Kennedy and her story, plus more trending topics and headlines. It's Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, I tell you lately, seems no one can fade me. It just might drive you crazy watching gangsta.
Gin and juice, hen and coke, rum and coke, and 5 ounces of dope. In the middle with a twist and the cut of smoke. With my dog, all the hogs, OGs, and lokes.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Exciting news, ladies! Always Discreet Boutique Bladder Leak underwear are available in black and printed design. Protect yourself with style. These fit and feel just like real underwear, and they give you up to 0 leaks, 0 odor. Designed for all shapes and sizes, they give you the confidence to be fully yourself. Don't let bladder leaks hold you back. Buy Always Discreet Boutique Bladder Leak underwear now.
Y'all ready for Gillette's best shave? Try Gillette Labs with 5 ultra-thin blades, a built-in exfoliating bar, a precision trimmer on the back for sharp lineups. Gillette Labs delivers that smooth shave. Plus, and check this out, with 1 refill, you'll get up to 30 shaves. And on average, the blades last 50% longer than Gillette Fusion. Got something special coming up and you gotta look good? Check out Gillette Labs, the best a man can get. Gillette Labs also available in heated.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, Protect and preserve the stories of black land lost before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandloss.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Now, first up, happy first day of fall, y'all. There were numerous replays of Earth, Wind, and Fire's September yesterday. So much so, in fact, that y'all ran it up, right? I believe that, I'm trying to find it. So it dropped in on Spotify's global charts at number 69 with 1.7 million streams. So shout out to y'all.
Because of the first day of fall?
Because it was September 21st. And do you know, in September they go, do you remember the 21st day of September?
Got it.
Yeah. So that's how we kick off fall now. I think this is something that has come about in the social media era. And, you know, people just jump into it and run those stream numbers up. So shout out to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That's the good thing about social media in some ways.
It is. It revives those old classics. 100%. Stuff that people, you know, we talked about what happened with Sherilyn and that run. I'm sure there's lots of other songs that we get a resurgence of. So, you know, there is a reason, most certainly, why we know that TikTok is about to be sold to an American company that involves the Ellison family as well as potentially Rupert Murdoch. We know why all these corporations are trying to get in on the because one, TikTok is a revenue generator. It produces sales. There's live selling on there for several products. The music industry has changed its entire model because of what has happened with TikTok, which they stole from Triller, by the way. I believe it was, you know, the whole thing surrounding music and the dances and the viral little clips. That has changed undoubtedly how we look at music, how we listen to music, the little dances and stuff, the trending. There are departments within these labels, if you can even still call them that, that are dedicated to social in these type of ways. You know, there's a whole plan put against social for music marketing. TV and film too, but music especially. Executives were concerned about what was going to happen if TikTok shut down. So boom, there it is.
You know, I don't frequent too much on TikTok, but I will say this, considering where we're at in this political climate, you know, that might be a good thing for the music industry or whatnot, but I cannot help but feel like it's going to be a lot of propaganda in your algorithms for you TikTok people.
It's going to be a lot of,
Pay attention to certain narratives being pushed moving forward. Be vigilant, y'all.
I mean, these are facts. These are big facts. So, listen, if at any point you want to get in on this conversation, you know how this goes down. 800-920-1580. Call in. Let us know what you're thinking. Jump at us. And on social media. KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. I have no idea why I put that awkward pause in there. But, you know, we're going with it. So hit us up there. Download the app so you can catch replays of the shows, all of them. And, of course, we got a YouTube chat so that you could get the visual to go along with this audio adventure. Jump in there. The VIPs, they're already chatting. We love them there. And shout out to them. Andy? Oh, no, we rolling? All right, now. Let's buckle up because we're about to get into Jayne Kennedy's truth. She, as I mentioned, was the first black female NFL broadcaster on CBS. She brought a lot to those broadcasts. Actress, presenter, all of the things. If you don't know, which I'm sure a lot of you do, because I see some comments in the chat about she was their junior high school crush or whatever. She also influenced a lot of broadcasters' careers. I'm talking Jemele Hill, Carrie Champion, Oprah, Gail, Jill. So there you go. She's a legend. I talked to her, I believe it was mid last year at the NAACP Image Awards. And I said to her at the time, would she be opposed to her story being told? Because I thought that it was a story that needed to be heard. They needed to understand what she did for broadcasting and some of the things she went through. And she shared with me at that time that she would be releasing her memoir called Plain Jane. Well, it dropped on September 2nd. And, you know, Jayne went through a lot. And in the early 90s, as I mentioned, following the divorce of her husband, Leon Isaac Kennedy, who, you know, was at times a controversial figure. He was her manager at some points, things like that. They had a very, let's say, nasty divorce, right? And somewhere during that divorce or slightly after, a private tape of their intimate moments was leaked. This was the first celebrity sex tape leak. And of course, we didn't have the internet then. So this was VHS copies, rough VHS copies that were passed around. It was almost urban folklore. It was, you know, before the DVD or the VHS guy, they used to come to the beauty shop and barber shops. This is probably one of the first little pirated of those type of videos that was passed around. Okay. And Jayne being the first, and you know, we've lived through an era of Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, and then everybody and their mama after that, right? And now we're at OnlyFans, where they voluntarily put their own intimate moments onto the internet if you want to pay for it. Well, for Jayne, it was a different situation, a different scenario, and it basically took away her career and took away her self-esteem. She recently was on Tamron Hall promoting her book, and she talked about that moment and what it did to her. And we'll get into some of the backstory and the thoughts about it after that, but let's get into what Jayne had to say.
I mean, I would often look at magazines and see a glimpse of you and an update and when you got married and your daughters. And so for me, I guess I'm surprised to hear anyone believe that it ruined the Jayne Kennedy that I admire, the Jayne Kennedy that Gail and Oprah, as you talk about in the book, told you that you're a game changer.
Well, maybe it was because you didn't really think that, and maybe the whole country didn't think that, but I did. And that was key.
How did you recover from believing that?
I don't even know, because it was 10 years that I hated myself. My daughters saved me. I mean, literally, they saved me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to hide. I didn't talk to any of my friends for 10 freaking years. And we got a call from the Image Award people, and they asked Bill, you know, we want you and Jayne to present an Image Award for the best play. And he knew that I was going to say no, but he came and asked me anyway. And he came into the room and he said, Jayne, they want us to present. He said, I can cancel. You know, I can just call him and tell him it's going to happen. And I didn't say anything. And he started and he turned away, and I kind of whispered yes.
And that was the breakthrough moment.
It was time. And so we show up at the Image Awards, and I'm backstage freaking out because I'm saying, I can't do this. I couldn't look people in the eye anymore. Oh, God. Oh. I just couldn't, you know, and as I sat backstage, as I sat as I standing backstage, I'm looking for a window and looking an exit. Okay, where's an exit door? Where's a window? You know, can I hide in the curtains? I tried to hide in the curtains, and then Bill came over to me and he said, "It's time to go on stage," and he dragged me on stage, and I'm trusting him, and he took me up the steps, and he threw away the speech, and he got to the microphone and he said, "I want to thank the NAACP for bringing my wife out of the house."
So there's a lot there. She was obviously quite emotional, and this is 30 years removed from that. Jayne was Miss Ohio in 1970, excuse me. She and Leon Isaac Kennedy divorced in 1981. He alleged that the tape was stolen, among some other things. Ebony magazine was actually sued by him because they claimed that he leaked it in a position, I guess, to get a vantage point as far as their divorce goes and so forth. But, you know, for Jayne, she was once an actress, model, as I mentioned, the first black woman to anchor NFL Today. She disappeared from Hollywood's mainstream. Some of that was self-imposed, but also because she was dropped from some deals. People shunned her. From an intimate moment with her husband that was out of their control and didn't make it to mainstream like some of the other things have. You know, conversely, 1988 was the first real sex tape leak. It was Rob Lowe. It happened at the Democratic National Convention. And in that, it was him actually involved with two young ladies, one of which was underage. This story has all but disappeared, you know, at the time. But it did nearly end his career later, but he went on to star in The West Wing. We know Pam and Tommy Lee, what happened with that. It was a safe robbery, you know, blockbuster bootleg, basically. Pamela was mocked, but, you know, pop culture later glamorized them. That was in 95. 2003 was when Paris Hilton hit. And then Kim Kardashian in 2007 with the Vivid release with Ray J. It was 07, you know, and that was the blueprint for an empire, a show greenlit months later, and we know the rest of the story after that. Point being that a black woman's tape, the first one, equals erasure, right? So those are some of the things that we talk about when we talk about the differences in treatment and what happens, you know? Jayne Kennedy wasn't, because a lot of times people will point to being persecuted for being a dark-skinned black woman. She wasn't. She was thought of as the ideal and still was discarded, right? So I'm really happy that she's back. In the chat, Forrest Harrison is saying, Rob Lowe, Epstein files. Hey, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. We have a caller on the line, JW from South Central LA. JW, keep it short and sweet. We up against the clock, but I appreciate you as always calling in. What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, thank you. I can't give you the exact year, but I think it was in late 70s or early 80s. I was at a tennis tournament playing tennis at USC College, and I seen a young lady ahead of me walking, and she looked like a little nerd or, you know, goofy or, you know, a plain Jane like her book is. And once I got close to her, me and my partner, we said, oh, that's Jayne Kennedy. And at that point in time, I believe she was still married to old boy. And he was still a DJ, if I'm not mistaken, just retired or whatever. But she was in star in sitcom Room 222, the TV show, as a teacher, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I believe she was just naive, gullible, and something that was private. I believe she's just over self-conscious because, like you said, she was the first, and, you know, she was probably, you know, paranoid and lost business deals and things of that nature. But if she would have wrote her own narrative and got ahead of the story, I believe she could have made a positive out of that. But at this point in time in the future, there's a time and place for everything, and I really believe this book will be something positive and thought-provoking, and that's it.
Thank you so much for your call, JW. Listen, the bottom line is what it feels like, looking back. Obviously, this is 30 plus years. Jayne was, she had it girl status, right? And in 1993, the Washington Post wrote an article talking about the disappearance of Jayne, basically, and the project she was attached to. It has been floated, and Claudia Jordan is someone that is really interested if there ever was a biopic made of her life. Claudia is someone who has been told that she favors Jayne for a long time. They've met, they've talked. I actually have an interview with both, like I said, from the Image Awards. Check out my Instagrams from last year, March of last year. Just a little brief snippet. But I really would like to see, Jayne's story told, because she battled through a lot, racism, all of those things, harassment a little bit, because beauty is a double-edged sword, especially in male-dominated spaces. And it wasn't her fault. She was with her man, right? She was with her man. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. And also, shout out to Bill Overton, her husband, who stood by her side, held her up, and was a source of comfort and support for her. Jayne's disappearance partially was her embarrassment. And I'm glad that she had someone that loved her and could, shield her from what she thought might have been bad reaction. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is standing by his remarks calling jails and law enforcement a sickness despite backlash from prosecutors and police.
The people who heard my statement, they know exactly what I meant and what I'm talking about.
Johnson later clarified, saying law enforcement alone does not keep communities safe and should not be viewed as salvation for black and brown neighborhoods. Former Vice President Kamala Harris will sit down tonight with MSNBC for her first major interview since losing the 2024 election as she promotes her memoir, 107 Days, about her brief run for the White House. And students at Best Academy in Atlanta have made history as the nation's first all-black high school polo team. Their debut at the Atlanta Polo Party was made possible through designer Miguel Wilson's Ride to the Olympics Foundation, with leaders praising the sport for building confidence, discipline, and new opportunities. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Sun Valley, it's a stall on the 5 northbound past the 170. Carpool lane is blocked. Delays away from Sheldon Street. Also, let's head out to the 14. This is the northbound side in Santa Clarita. That drive has been slow moving, leaving the 5. But the good news is that it looks a lot better once you pass Placerita Canyon Road. The southbound side of the 405 slowing in West LA from just about Pico. You're on the brakes and stretches to the 710 freeway.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The University of Pittsburgh announced Monday morning that they are retiring the number 97 jersey of former Rams defensive star Aaron Donald. Donald played at Pitt from 2010 to 2013. Pittsburgh is retiring Donald's number at their November 15th home game against Notre Dame. Donald was a first-round pick of the Rams in 2014. He played all 10 of his NFL seasons with the Rams before retiring in 2023. Donald will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer in 2028. The main reason the Rams blew a 19-point lead in Philadelphia Sunday was because their defense broke down late in the game. In the fourth quarter, the Eagles were successful on 4 third-down conversions and 2 fourth-down conversions. The Rams defense just couldn't get off the field. Top 5 teams in this week's college football poll: Ohio State, Miami, Penn State, LSU, and Georgia. 4-0 USC moved up from 25 to 21. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Quiet Storm. I feel like we're on Midnight Love right now.
Where Donnie Simpson at?
Right. Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, we're versatile up here. We can give it all to you. Real. So shout out to the chat. Fahima in the chat mentioned Vanessa Williams and what happened to her in '84 when her modeling photos were sold to Penthouse magazine. I feel like that's a bit of a different circumstance. And let me catch you up really quick. We're talking Jayne Kennedy. She recently appeared on Tamron Hall and talked about her stepping back for a decade from the public view after someone stole and leaked a VHS tape, full of intimate moments with her then ex-husband, Leon Isaac Kennedy. Now, though Vanessa's was more broad, everyone knew about it. And obviously, in a lot of ways, the same type of reaction occurred. I think for Jayne, it was even more violating, if there's such a thing, because she was in an intimate act with her husband, right? With modeling pics, they are a little racy, right? They were nude. There were, some interesting ones, especially for the time, but it's not seeing it in motion, what happens between you and a mate. So that's why, though both are in violation, I feel like there's a little bit of a difference in what happened with Jayne. And certainly, while Vanessa, and maybe that was youth, Vanessa was young at the time when this took place, didn't take it lying down. And she got her career back through music and then through acting. And realistically, how many people remember Suzette Charles? That's who took over for Vanessa. I think Vanessa was 8 or 9 months into her reign when this happened, but nobody thinks about Suzette Charles in that manner. So, but shout out to that. Shout out to them both. We have a caller on the line. Y'all know what time it is. Eric from Carson. Welcome in, Eric. What's on your mind this evening?
Hey, happy Monday, Jill.
Happy Monday.
I want to give you a little bit of quick history about Jayne Kennedy.
Give me some? Or give the viewers?
Well, give the viewers.
I mean, the listeners. The
listeners. So when I was a kid, I watched this movie. I was into this movie, Penitentiary, starring Leon Isaac Kennedy, and Penitentiary 2. I shouldn't have been watching this movie because it was R-rated.
Right. Isn't it like Little Half Pint, Half Dead or something?
Yeah.
The character, yep.
Yeah. And he was too sweet, but this movie was hilarious. But the point is that I always thought that Leon Isaac Kennedy took Jayne Kennedy's name. And he was actually born Leon Isaac Kennedy. And then he used the name Leon Isaac for his DJing career. And then he, picked up, his full name for acting, but that was his name. And
as her husband, that's usually what happens, yes.
But I'm saying he was born, that was his birth name.
Yeah, and he married his wife, and then she took his name, his last name. Yeah.
I thought he took her name when I was a kid because she was so huge, and he wasn't as big as she was. So I always thought that he adopted her name, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. And so I thought he became Mr. Kennedy, but he was already Mr. Kennedy. And so the point where I'm going with this is they had a beautiful marriage. Everybody loved them. But I think that he pulled a Ray J before there was a Ray J. I think he was really into his career, and she was soaring past him. And I think he leaked that tape, and I think it was strategic, and I think that's what broke up their 10-year marriage. That's what I believe.
Well, he sued Ebony for that and won. So everybody, way back in the day, everybody has their thoughts, but
I bet you he did that.
Maybe, but we'll never know. And like I said, he sued and won for those same sentiments.
Can I just ask you one last question?
Sure, of course.
She was a beautiful woman, beautiful body. He was a handsome man. There was a beautiful couple. The world was their oyster. What could have possibly broke them up other than him doing something low down and shady? And then turning around and suing and winning? That was pretty smart.
Listen, thanks for your input as always, Eric. We appreciate you. I mean, you never know. It is hard. We talk about this when we talk about relationship stuff and successful women dating and why oftentimes they tend to find people always give, let me back up. People always give successful women the advice that they, just date someone that loves you. And even though you make more than him, he'll understand. But we have so many instances of men not necessarily understanding and being not great people to these women when a relationship reaches its end. Granted, at any given time, people can outgrow each other. They can have a change of heart. I understand marriage is supposed to stick and stay, but we know sometimes it doesn't always. And, there's a lot of reasons why they could have broken up. But she's been with her husband, Bill Overton, for over 30, maybe 40 years. He's been her protector. And she has thrived, though not in front and out front with him. I am just happy that she is resurfaced and back talking. And I have not read her book yet, but I do plan on it because, like I said, she was definitely one of my influences. And if you really talk to any black journalist, a Gen Xer probably, maybe a late millennial, but Gen X for sure, a little older than that too, Jayne was an influence. When we come forward, we're going to get into Cardi B, Celina Powell, and Lil Meech, because why do you guys keep doing the same thing over and over? We'll talk about that on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cow Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
God, thank you for making me the baddest alive. Cute little aura, I don't know, I'm just a vibe. All white toes looking like somebody's bride. Bunch of black trucks looking like somebody died. I sell name, I'll just be doing charity. I'm nothing like you, don't got no similarities. Call you like, yeah, I swear to me. Too, cause why I so embarrassing, be shady anyway. She don't like me, but she will trade.
Welcome in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Barty. Cardi B. She did what a lot of people didn't think that she could do, right? Went to #1 again with Am I the Drama? Just dropped Friday. Within 24 hours, it was certified platinum with estimated physical sales of about, I think it said 150,000. Haven't checked back to see if the numbers are firm, right? But there's some controversy because, you know, she broke the Guinness Book of World Records with this release, all types of things. But, and I mentioned this before the album dropped, among the 23 tracks, there are 2 previously released tracks, one of which, WAP, that's like 5 million streams. 3, there's a third. What's the third one, Andy? Shout out to Andy.
You have Up.
Up, right.
Oh, never
Up.
mind. I guess I was counting
WAP.
Outside, but no.
Outside was the lead single. So Up and WAP are both on there, okay? And critics say it's chart cheating. They basically are not feeling it. They say it's, you know, but Cardi was promoting. She's been absolutely everywhere doing those videos, taking advantage of her social media fans. The song Safe, which they did another video for, dropped. Her and Kalani, Silk Pajamas. I think women really vibe to that song because every woman wants to feel safe. What she is describing is what women want to feel in a relationship, right? It already has, well, within the first 24 hours of it dropping, 4 million views. Cardi's doing her thing. She said that she had to be very hush-hush and allow Janet Jackson to run the show in order to sample Janet's 1987 hit Pleasure Principle. The song's called Principle. Janet officially contributed vocals, and it was the first time she's ever done that for another woman's album. So Cardi said Janet gets whatever the F she wants because she Janet, but she took over, was saying how she wanted this to be on what couldn't be said. It's Janet, right? This is Cardi's second #1 album debut, 8 years apart. She's not just relevant, she's proven that she's durable. Despite all the criticism, despite the heat about padding albums with old hits, I've seen it on just about every IG story from a lot of females over the weekend taking their pics. As Andy said on Friday when we were leaving out, I always talk about the pretty girl music, the music that you get dressed to get ready to go party. That's what Cardi is giving us. And there's definitely a whole wide lane for that, right? And so we'll have to see what happens next. We have Fahima from DC on the line. Fahima has a follow-up to our caller, Eric. Fahima, how are you this evening? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm going to be quick because I know the show's about to end, and I wasn't going to call in, but I wanted to say that Jayne Kennedy's maiden name is Harrison. Yes. I know this personally because I dated her first cousin. He was my high school sweetheart. And secondly, the tape was leaked after their... The tape was leaked after their divorce, so it couldn't have been the cause of their divorce. And finally, a family member reportedly leaked the tape, and it wasn't the first cousin.
Shout out to that. Thank you for the first-hand knowledge drop, Fahima. We always appreciate that. Okay, so listen, last story for the night. Celina Powell. Celina Powell has leaked conversations, video, intel of her dealings with people like Snoop, Offset, Cardi's ex, her ex-husband, tons more. I can't even think of the whole list. A lot of people. Celina played games on the internet, all of these things, right? Well, on the 21st day of September, she wasn't talking Earth, Wind, and Fire. She was talking Lil Meech, and she was exposing her alleged relationship with Demetrius Little Meech Flannery, right? And in that expose, she called Meech, basically an addict, a broke addict. And because he denied her on social media, she went even further and revealed that Meech and his dad, Big Meech, are reportedly low on funds right now and living out of an apartment that Floyd Mayweather has allowed them to stay in. Shout out to Floyd for doing that, not publicizing it, just taking care of, I guess, his people. Not everybody will do that. Not everybody will hold you down and not let the world know that we're doing it. Celina says he was financially dependent on her, she was buying him clothing. She said that he abuses lean and pills. She talked about his time in rehab and how hurt he was, right? And she also played an audio. And mind you, this all happened because Meech denied that they were in a relationship, probably because he's embarrassed. But you got in a relationship with Celina, and she's done this to you before, and a list of other men. Why? Why, man? Why? That's all I want to know. But let's listen to the audio that Celina leaked of Meech.
Begging you, please delete this stuff. This is my reputation, bro. I apologize for saying what I said to you. Please, man.
But you said it was cap, though. What was cap, Demetrius?
Celina, I said that to get the post deleted, Celina.
Okay. You're right. But now you want to make me look like a liar in front of the internet. It's crazy, Demetrius.
That's not how I tried to make you seem. I apologize for that.
So, again, let me give you the rundown. There were leaked chats with Drake, which Drake denied, led to a public feud. DJ Academics, she has talked about being in love with him. Crazy. Buying him things. Aaron Carter, before he passed away, right? 6ix9ine. Snoop, several times. She talked about Snoop, alleged that, they had a lot of partying together where Snoop utilized, allegedly per her body like a ski slope. I'll let y'all figure that one out. Offset, as I mentioned, Waka Flocka Flame, Fetty Wap, Dwight Howard, Sway Lee, Fabulous. And at some point during all of these situations or later, she exposed receipts of conversations, payments, time together, all of these things. And she's still in the rotation. So, leads me to believe y'all say one thing sometimes, but you like what you like. And you gonna go get it, no matter the potential cost. Andy?
She must be the referral that you be talking about all the time, huh?
They love her. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch. You guys don't just love getting referrals for the car wash guy, the barber, things like that. You get other referrals as well, right? Right. It's just what happens. I don't know. And again, that is why, as we talked about earlier with Jayne Kennedy, these tapes don't have the same impact that they do. They're practically, for some, for a minute, we're part of the marketing scheme. We're part of the marketing plan, to get attention on social media. How the times have changed. People will be mortified if some of the exchanges and conversations that are regularly spit out day to day on social media from celebrities, I put that in quotes. Sometimes they're celebrities, sometimes they're just public figures, sometimes they're just well known. But whatever the case, we know a great deal about their lives at times and relationships firsthand. It's a different time. You know, it's crazy in these streets, man. Listen, as always, I want to thank you guys for tapping in. Please continue to do so each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Of course, if you want more of me, and I know you do, sign up for my newsletter, rsvpforcredentials.com. Sign up. It comes out weekly. There's lots of good stuff in there. And get ready, because you know what's coming up next. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, he's about to hit you in the head with something, some topic that will leave you pondering. I'll be back tomorrow. Same mic, new smoke. Talk to you guys then.
Compound, Rockefeller. And Neo's like, young Michael, I'm Quincy Ho. Now hear the flow that broke the Da Vinci Code. I'm psycho, everything I write go together so nice. Like a wedding, make you wanna throw rice. I'm schizo, clock don't tick so right. Sometimes till the chicks go noodles. I got screws loose, I pull words out the air like Bluetooth. I'm a sandwich short of a picnic, ignorant. Thoughts come across, you would swore that I written this. But I didn't, so maybe it's good to be crazy, isn't it, baby?
I wrote your name on my wall 3,000 times last night. You were on my mind. That's what you do to me. That's what you do. That's what you do to me. That's what you did. One by one, I went down the line, just repeating it, 'cause it makes me smile. That's what you do to me. That's what you do. That's what you do to me. That's what you. Some say that it's just strange.